Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today in this video, I have loaded up some Hornady 62 grain full metal jacket boat tail right there. And I have loaded them up with some Benchmark powder. And I've been wanting to find a good load again to use with the Benchmark, and I have plenty of it, so I wanted to give this a shot. And so we're using the Hornady bullet, and I'm using mixed range brass primed with CCI 400 rifle primers. And the way the only separation that I have of the mixed range brass is it is all Lake City brass. Okay, so you know, I took care and done all my preparations that I need to do. I just didn't do it perfectly, because the idea of this load is just to have a quick, hasty load, so to speak. I want a load that I don't have to fuss around with too much, that I could make in bulk to plink with, or to shoot some halfway decent groups. Alright, so before we go out to the range to shoot these are loaded with Benchmark from between 23.8 grains and 25 grains in 3/10 of a grain increments. So that's how I'm going to do it. All right, and I'll be shooting them at 100 yards with an 18-inch Odin Works 1-in-8. They call it their DMR barrel. So the rifle that I'm using is generally pretty accurate. You know, it's definitely a fairly accurate rifle. Nothing you know, off the chart, but it's a fairly accurate rifle. And I'll be shooting it with a 6-24 Diamondback Vortex scope. So and I'll be sitting there and I'll be trying to, you know, make every shot count as best I can, so to speak. But before we go to the range, I want to give a shout out to a couple of special young men, Mason and Jack. I just wanted to say hi to you guys. So now let's go on out to the range and see what we can tear up, and then we'll come back and figure out these targets. Okay, so here are the results. The bullet that I'm using, if I didn't mention that before, I can't remember. It's the Hornady 62 grain full metal jacket boat tail, and it is the HO22760. All right, and I bought some of these in the past for 12 cents, which wasn't bad. And then I found them again on a website called Blue Collar Reloading, and I found them for 9 cents. So I stocked up on some. So that's where we're at with those. And before we go any further, go ahead, and if you like these kind of videos, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. I know you want to. Subscribe if you're not already, and you can support me on Patreon too if you'd like. So as far as the brass goes, there's really not much to see here. You know, everything just looks good. You know, so there it is. That's the brass. Nothing really to see. Everything went off without a hitch. And as far as my shooting goes, I was a little, you know, just not the best day. Nothing to complain majorly about. I felt like I'd maybe pulled a thing or two, but it is what it is. And here's the target. Actually pleasantly surprised, because I really wanted this combination of benchmark and bullet to work. So so at 23.8 I got a 1.3 inch group, now just as a reminder, some of this paper was loose on the cardboard, so that's why you have more jagged holes, and then you have some where the paper was solid to the cardboard and made better holes. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. I just wanted to point that out while you're looking at these targets. And I really need to do a better job of using a different, an upgraded paper, at least, a little thicker stock, for these kind of videos. But so then over here I got another 1.3 inch group at 24.1 grains, and then you know, you could see it was wanting to shoot. You know, like here is a little more spread out. It looked like it was trying to tighten up here. So we just kind of reasoned through this, and over here I got a .987. Now in my mind, with my rifle and my shooting skills, I should get an inch group at 100 yards. That's kind of what I'm looking for what I call a really good load. You know, and I can do better than that, and I have done better than that with this rifle. But for what I'm piecing together here, I really like it a lot. So I got a .987, and then over here, if I take this bullet out, I got a .955. So it's looking like this, you know, so we're kind of just looking at the whole story here. All right, so it looks like it's doing good. It looks like it's still doing good. I think I done that, but even if we call it the, you know, missing a couple of steps on the brass, for instance, like, you know, separating my brass better, maybe I can eliminate that if that wasn't me. And then over here we got a .798 with this group. If we eliminate this bullet, now this bullet I knew I pulled, but let's say I didn't pull that bullet, and again it goes to the brass that I'm using, and I was to eliminate that, I have a .798. In other words, I'm just looking at the whole story here. Now I kind of hate myself because what I do in a situation like this, where things are looking consistent from 24.4 to 25. So now I think I'm going to load up another 25 and go back to the range and see if I can confirm any of this and maybe tighten it up better. So instead of finishing this video out, we're going to go ahead and go back to the range, shoot another test load of 25, and this time I'm going to use, I'm at the max here according to the book. I'm going to go 0.3 over. I don't recommend anyone do anything like that, but from the look at the brass, I think we can get a little more powder in there, no problem. So I'm just going to start at a max. I'm going to end with a max of 25.3, and this might be silly, but this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to go 24.5. So 24.5 to 25.3, and let's come back and just see what I have. All right, here we are. Let's just decipher what we've got. Now, I took my own advice and I stepped it up to a little better paper stock. You know, it's an upgraded paper. So I did do that. So, you know, it's not exactly what I expected, But you know, for some reason on this this first one right here on 24.5, it would closely resemble the 24.4 up here that I got a .987 on, and I ended up with a 1.6 inch group. I have no idea. It was my first group. I did warm the barrel, so I just don't have an answer for it. Whatever. So then I went up to 24.7, which is what I've already shot at 24.7 with a .955, and I did better. I got a .647 if I throw that one out. So it is what it is, guys. And you can see on the paper, you know, the holes look better because of this stock, and I was a little more careful about making sure it was pressed to the cardboard. All right, so I can live with a round that goes out, because that's the kind of thing that happens in reality for a lot of reasons. So I'm okay with that. You know, a 1.6 with this one, a .647. I got a .955 here. If I take that one out, so that's close enough to the story. I got a .580 here, and it would have been a .897 if I include that one. So I'm just showing you there is a hole right there as well. So I can call that a .897. And this is a 24.9, which closely resembles the 25 of a .798. All right, so we'll just call it a .897, and I'm pretty close to what I shot in the last group. So and then I moved on to 25.1, and I got an .822. But if I add that one to it, I got a 1.6. So it seems like I've got a lot of excuses for one flyer in every group, or like some of our guys say, WTF, why the flyer? So there we go. And then it just went to pot right here. It's obvious that this was a real problem after going to 25.3. Hornady got this one right in the book. So you know, 25.1 down to 24.7. Where do I load if I want to keep this load? Do I want to do a 24.9? It kind of looks like it to me, you know, because it looked like it was wanting to group. Even over here at 24.7 though, boy, look at that. I mean, it was really wanting to stay nice and tight right there. So I've got some thinking over to do there. Maybe you guys could comment in the comment section and let me know if you have any experience with this bullet, because this thing is really wanting to shoot, and at 9 cents on Blue Collar Reloading website, man, that's a hard one to beat for. And I really love the 62 grain anyway, shooting that in my 1 8 twist. So now, as always, when I go this far, I always want to go a little bit farther before I decide. So I think I'm not in a hurry to load up a bunch, but what I will do is I'll probably load up some of them and have those sitting around. But in the meantime, I think I want to try because I have so many of these bullets, and I do have a bit of this powder as well. 748, and it's a ball powder, which I don't always have the very best of luck with. So I think I'm going to try this, so we'll in the next ladder test, that's what we're going to do. We're going to see what 748 does, and just see if this bullet likes that. Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.